Whitney, you need so much help. It's gotten to a point where, like, I've been silent for a while since coming out of the villa. I haven't said anything about the Tyreek podcast, about your podcast, your responses to everything since the whole India mess. But this is so far beyond me now. Like, I actually was not aware that this allergy to accountability was so severe. This podcast with Wumi Bello, first of all, Wumi, you are a class act. Fantastic interviewer. You did so well. I personally was not familiar with this year game. Your world-class journalism skills are really showing through because you did great. Back to the issue at hand. Whitney, you and Belle clearly did not rehearse your lines enough, and it's showing because y'all couldn't even keep your own story straight. You say so many things that directly contradict things you've said in the past or what Belle said, and you two clearly seem to be on the same page. Even things in the interview like, he said things to me off camera. So like, yeah, this is what he said. Things were edited to create a certain narrative. Then you then jump and say, we were filmed 24/7. Girl, which one is it? I just don't understand how difficult it is to just say, I was wrong. I am sorry. I need to work on this. It's always, oh, I was the victim. Woe is me. This one literally, just watch.
I done the pod and then she responded on Saturday. She started it. In fact, I'm a victim. I'm actually the victim, come to think of it.
This hole that you seem dead set on continuing to dig for yourself keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper every single time you open your mouth. This is specifically referring to, in this past clip, the whole issue with India. Apparently, long story short, the context was after the interview where she already had Vim for India. She's talking about how India has apparently treated her a lot of different ways and been weird to her over the years, and she can't have professionality. Sis, it's professionalism. Anyway, saying that she can't be fake on camera, and she's like, after the interview even happened, she confronted India and was like, you've been weird to me. She didn't have her phone back yet. India obviously had hers, unfollowed Whitney, and then sees all the headlines that, oh, after this interview, blah 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 blah, and then is trying to blame us, the public, for not knowing things that you didn't tell us. And even still, with this your professionalism, you were the opposite of professional. Number one, you were drunk. Number two, you were very aggressive in your response. Even if you felt that way, as Wumi said, again, class act, holding you accountable, you should have the same energy throughout, regardless of who you're dealing with. If you are of this opinion that Black women should treat Black women this way, even though your actions in the villa paint a completely different picture, but if that's what you claim, why didn't you have that same energy for India? And then Wumi even confronts her about what she said in her own podcast about India. What she said about, I was like basically going easy on you, and, I could have brought up your own mess. Where in the world is the professionalism? Because what's that? And literally, why would you even speak on her situation when India's job is to ask you questions about the show that you just finished? Why would India's personal life even arise? Hello? The fact that you even think, like, Wumi straight up asked her, you don't think that's wild at all? Like what you said? She's like, no. Really? No. Straight face. Like, this girl is dead serious about this. This is the result of only having yes men around you and people not telling you the truth to your face, even when it's hard, your whole life. This is what you get. There's just so many layers to this. Like, even aside from the India thing, when it came to Leanne, the only time she admitted that she was genuinely wrong was when it came to the whole movie night thing and they showed the clip. She's like, this is the first time that she's even seen that. Even her reasoning behind it, she said that there was already a shift when Leanne pulled Yemen. The same way Sammy has not been over that pie. That one is still not over this thing with Yemen. But you even voiced and said y'all never talked about it. So you admitted you swept your feelings under the rug and just let a whole bunch of feelings bottle up. Whose fault is that? And still, that did not justify what you did. Granted, you said you were wrong. You did not apologize to Leanne now that you've acknowledged that you're wrong, or at least as far as we know. Have you publicly acknowledged the way that you treated her in public was wrong? As in directly to the person that you hurt. And it's always about, I'm the victim in every situation. Basically, the consensus of this whole interview was, I defended and protected these people even when they don't protect me. Now we've moved the crusade to Twitter, her back and forth with Scott, if y'all haven't been catching on to that. Watching this back hurt more than I thought. I can see how much I hide behind my words, speaking in code instead of saying what I really feel. I've always been the one who protects everyone else, even when it comes to me. So Like, are we being dead ass when we say that what we did on screen in this past Love Island All-Star season is what we're really about to call protecting others? Throwing Scott under the bus, talking about, oh, because he can't afford my finances, he probably can't afford this other girl's finances that, mind you, I'm even saying I don't know personally, just making assumptions. That's you protecting him, insinuating that he's broke and can't afford a lifestyle of a lifestyle babe. This is how we protect others, protect our friends. And then, even in your whole answer throughout this whole thing, you ask that question at that game night for Leanne, to protect Leanne, or clarity for Scott. Now we're saying we did it. Oh, it was just to show that, see, I was right. You're welcome. This is so sad and scary. I think this comment pretty much sums up a lot of what we're all feeling, which is Whitney seems to be the common denominator in all of this, yet she doesn't recognize it somehow. Everyone else is always saying is always the problem. She still hasn't taken any real accountability for the drama she's been involved in over the past few months. At this point, it's hard to see her changing, especially when her mom, not getting into all of that, her mom, hearing some of the things she says, I have my own opinions about her. That's another video anyway. But the first part is absolutely correct. Whitney always seems to see herself as like, okay, but like, this is the reason I was doing it. Listen, just because you have a reason for doing something doesn't mean that your reason is okay or correct. Point blank, period. I don't understand why that's so hard to accept. But when you have people in your ear, loud mouths like Belle, complete train wrecks of individuals, as your yes man, as your partner in crime, then what else can you expect? So much of what you have said in this interview alludes to the fact, or you just flat out say, that there's a lot of context that we didn't see. With you in India, you guys have this history of how she's treated you. You and Leanne, you and Scott's conversations. Oh, Scott really did like Belle, but we just didn't see it. Okay, what are these things that you are speaking on publicly that we don't know? Provide that context. What are the behaviors that Scott was exhibiting that made you certain that he liked Belle? Because nobody else really seemed to get that impression. Even Yeaman was like, Whitney said that on the show. Carrington was all like, I don't love that. But you, all of these weeks and months later, oh, no, he liked Belle. He liked Belle. Okay, what's your explanation for the whole pushing Cher for him? Because if you and Belle and Leanne were the trio, when two of those people clearly don't like the other, so that trio never made sense. If you guys are really friends, why would you not even try to advocate for your girl, knowing how much she liked him, knowing how she felt? If you're still butthurt about this Yeaman thing, only a dunce couldn't see that she didn't want him. And like you even said, you didn't really know him. You chose to go on a show again where you know that the objective is pulling people for chats, taking a partner from another person. If you don't like that arrangement, don't show up. It's not by force. And this screenshot that you decided to show us, did you just like share the wrong one? Because respectfully, what is this even meant to show or prove? It just proves that Scott is doing the right thing and distancing himself from someone who's clearly not his friend and doesn't have his back, and sees no problem with throwing him under the bus and embarrassing him to make themselves appear better. Also, the fact that it's so hard for her to understand that Scott is going to have Leanne's back over yours because that is his woman. He is pursuing her as his partner over you, someone who has clearly demonstrated to have very strange ulterior motives concerning the two of them. Why are you now the victim that Scott is actually setting boundaries and saying no to the way you have been repeatedly treating him and his partner? There are clearly things that you don't think that you've done wrong. Everybody else is telling you, hey, you're doing wrong, other than your yes men. It's called setting boundaries and having standards for your damn self. I'm going to do a part 2 actually going into more of the actual clips from the interview. But Whitney, I don't understand why you're choosing to go out sad. Keep staying close to Belle. See how far that gets you.